Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight for the Cookout Podcast, where we talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling.
That was right at the. As soon as they entered, you were right there. Like there was no delay. Normally we were all looking at each other like who's going to say it or whatever, and it worked perfect this time. Yes, yes. We are back again on Tuesday night for the Cookout, and we're just discussing kind of just things that are going on in wrestling at the moment. Nothing in particular, not a particularly focused topic per se. Um, Sammy was saying that before the show started that because we didn't do Aftermath of Dynamite, he kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Revolution since we haven't had a chance to really talk about it as a group. So we can talk about Revolution. If you want to do that first, Sammy, you want to do that first, or you want to talk about something else, or anyone got something that's pressing that they're anxious to?
Well, I'll start with the end. Stinger has retired.
Yes, yes. What did you guys think here? So I'll pose the question. What did you guys think of Sting's final match?
I enjoyed it.
That bump that Darby took, though, ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But here's the thing. Darby go Darby. I don't understand. Your wife, yes, this is Sting's final match, but it also involves Darby. So you saw the glass. You saw the what you call it. You saw the chairs. You saw the ladder. You really didn't come to this conclusion that he was going to do.
I'm just glad Darby took the bump and not Sting, because Sting was still trying to take bumps like that. So
did anyone have any weird feelings about him descending from the rafters on the rope on the cable?
No.
Okay. Just asking. I'm just asking.
No, because the reason I answer like that is because a bunch of people really pissed me off, being like, "Well, why did Tony ask Martha? Why did Tony ask Martha? What did she have to do?" And it's like, because Sting stopped after Owen passed, and when he got the okay from the Hart family, he felt like it was okay to do. Now that they're associated with Dr. Martha, it is a respectful and courteous thing to do to not expose them to additional trauma not knowing. And it was just like, it's really annoying the level of tribalism people go to now to be mad about any little thing AEW does. Like I've been arguing with people about Darby taking bump. This was a professionally stunt coordinated bump. The man is going to climb Mount Everest.
I mean, climbing Mount Everest is kind of lame. I've seen the videos. Like,
you will climb Mount Everest, and when you pass all them bodies, they talk to us. This is once you go do something where
there's a lot of bodies up there that would say this isn't lame.
But those bodies are from 60 years ago.
They're not from 60 years ago.
No,
There's some that have passed in the past few months, and they cannot move those bodies because it could trip off an envelope.
Yeah, there's people that die every year trying to climb that mountain. I don't know what the numbers are, but every year there's people that die every year for sure.
Like we all people talk about climbing Mount Everest. How many people have actually said I did it and survived? I don't think we got too many of those testimonials of I climbed it. It was awesome. I have all fingers and toes. I didn't freaking behind off. It was.
I don't know most people who could say, like, I know people who could, like, I know of people who can say I climbed Mount Everest because they wrote the books on it, but most of them can't say they got all their fingers and toes.
But going back
this Darby is an extreme athlete.
Yeah.
And then people were like, well, the glass flashed up. The glass that went into the audience was sugar glass. It was obviously not real glass. The real glass. People moved.
I think his back was a little more cut up than he or other people expected. I don't think it was necessarily too much. I don't think he's like, oh, fuck, or regrets it or anything. I do think it ended up being a little more severe than I think they anticipated it to be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's exactly what they were going for. But it looked worse than most normal glass spots do when people bleed from glass, at least in my opinion.
I think it was also because, like, Darby hasn't really taken a bump like that in a while.
That part.
When you think about it, he really has not taken like a big bump. You know, wow.
Crazy enough, it's been
Yay.
like Steve's been doing the Scorpion Deathlock off the top of a platform or off the top of the freaking stage. Lord have mercy, you got grandkids. Okay.
One of which, like, you work with your daughter-in-law.
What'd you think of his sons coming out as the other Stings?
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie, I thought for a second, like, I was like, what type of holograph is this shit? And then I was like, oh shit, he does have
I think
kids.
everybody did for a hot second.
No,
I think everybody
that
like,
first boy, I thought, no, he did not just bleach his hair. And it's like, I'm like, wait, oh, that's
He
his
looked too
son.
young. I was like, he looked too young to be sick. That's why I was like, oh, this is hologram. And I was like, oh, and then I was relieved. And then they zoomed in on the face, and I was like, Sting?
Like, hey,
I was confused.
Is this one to wrestle? Especially the one that was blonde face, blonde hair Sting. Hey, and them finger splashes, they did. I don't know how many times they were doing it in the backyard, but like, they were practicing them finger splashes. They got some like hang time on them things.
Yeah,
Did you see what that one wrote on Twitter? He was like, in his head, don't embarrass dad, don't embarrass your dad, don't embarrass your dad, don't embarrass your dad. And it's not.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't pay a lot of attention a lot of times to stuff backstage, and I'm oblivious to it. I know that, so I didn't even realize. I mean, I assumed he did because a lot of people do, but I didn't even know Sting had kids like that, like two sons like that. So what are they doing? They're not wrestlers, right? I mean, what are
college athletes?
They
They
were
used to be college athletes. One of them now is a gamer, and I don't know what the other one does. But they're close to like me and Anika's age, relatively. But Sting and Undertaker are ones to really not talk about their children, their older children. Because you would never know Undertaker has like 2 older kids.
Oh yeah.
Unless you like
right
deep dove into like all of that and you saw the kid that looked like him, you like, what, Undertaker?
just like that, yeah.
Why you got red hair? Why you playing basketball years after you supposed? What the fuck is going on? Like
tell us.
But I remember his sons because I think it was the oldest one. Y'all remember when he did the Crow intro for like the first time and the little kid was reading? In WCW, if you go back and you look at it, that's I think it's his oldest son doing that poem or that reading. So I think that was his oldest son. I don't think it was his youngest son, but that was him doing the reading. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Cause I was a huge Sting fan. Like he was, when we played WrestleMan, like that was my WrestleMan. All the iterations of Sting that my brother had, I may have stolen from his wrestling collection at one time and kept them for a while.
So you guys are all in agreement that it was done well. His final match was done well. You think he's satisfied? Everyone seems to be satisfied. Could it have happened anywhere else?
No.
Would it have been as good in WWE, or is AEW the only place that it could happen?
No.
I thought you were talking about Greensboro.
No. I'm talking about the company itself. I'm talking about AEW.
No. I think it needed to be a company like AEW, like a newer company that doesn't have like all that stigma attached to it, and now would be drowned out by, all the spilling stuff. I think it happened in just the right company at just the right time, with these young bucks being the ones to do it. I love the spot where they were like, where Max like, we're not sorry. We fucking hate you. And they're like, don't say that.
If AEW starts a Hall of Fame, Sting is first ballot. Like,
oh yeah, I think it was a really great send off for Sting, and I think I will be quite honest. My major issue is people complaining about Darby doing the spot because it's Darby, and he hadn't taken a big spot in a long time, and Kevin Nash and his comments lately. Like, that's the only 2 issues I have.
I missed Kevin Nash's comment. What was it?
Kevin Nash said at first WWE would let him go to the match,
I
but
did see that.
then he couldn't be on camera.
I did see
Yesterday or the day before, he was like, I don't need to go to the effing match. I don't want to watch that. Like, nobody needs to see me out there. And it's just like,
That's your boy.
I get you going through a lot and you still dealing with a lot, like, personally. But one, you don't have to lie on, like, your employer, I guess, or one of your employers, because all you did was fuel tribalism. And then two, you come off really, really, really bitter and really angry that you weren't able to have this type of match that Sting was. And it was a great send-off for him. He got to be around people that really enjoyed him in a space that has a lot of history for him. And the post-match scrum was fucking hilarious about his answer with the Ultimate Warrior. Like, you don't, some things you can keep to yourself. It's okay to keep things to yourself. But yeah.
But yeah, like I was very disappointed. Like you said, number one, it did fire up tribalism, because as soon as he was like because my podcast is affiliated with WWE, I'm like, oh come on, man, this your boy. And then it's like, no, WWE, granted, they said that everyone could go. It's like, Big Sexy.
Just don't be on camera. That's all they said. Don't be on camera.
Well, I had the most popular thing. I'm like there's the skybox, there's backstage. Go do a cute little joke and wear a Sting mask. You want to be in the front and wear a Sting mask and say, "Hey, it's me." But like going back to Sting's Hall of Fame speech in WWE, one of the one that I loved the most was when he was like, it was a scrimmage in the ring, and him and Kevin was on the floor, and Kevin whispered in his ear, "Can we spoon?" It's like, so it's like, what's going on? That's your, like, those kind of jokes you don't get from people who are you're just associates or your co-workers. That y'all were some true blue friends, and yeah, man.
the whole you can go but don't be on TV feels very Vince McMahon, and I was hoping we were kind of moving past that. I keep hoping every day that WWE is going to actually surprise me and become less kind of isolationist and less, spiteful or petty, I guess is a better word in these kind of situations. Like, what fucking difference does it make if they're on TV? Kevin Nash, nobody even really knows Kevin Nash is still even fucking associated with WWE, for Christ's sakes. What difference does it fucking, even if they are? So fucking what?
I'm willing to go out on the
big
limb
fucking
and say
deal?
TKO did not say that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Nick Khan did not say that.
But I don't think WWE said that, because they said on Monday, "Hey, congrats to Sting on his retirement match. It was an epic match, sent off to a great guy." Now,
this is after they got all the heat from allegedly what they said to Kevin Nash, and people were still kind of pissed off about them not even just voluntarily sending some stuff over to AEW and just being like, "Hey, here's some clips from him in WCW."
I just don't understand why they have to just continue to, like I said, isolate themselves and
so they're
like,
I'm
not going to play with everybody else. We're going to play by ourselves.
I've noticed something. WWE is not isolationist. WWE is like, we will associate with you if we can use you, and we can bring some of your talent. If we can take some of your talent, we're good to go. Like, there's some questions about the whole Julia thing and how she's allowed to have that long break to help establish another wrestling company, and then coming over. It's a lot of interesting things that are happening. And Tony, as allegedly as he might be, I don't think he's lying about like the funny business that be going on with that.
And the thing of like Tony never bringing her over for a match. Because like the NJPW Strong Champions, they've come over quite a few times to do stuff like with Ring of Honor and everything else, and not once has she came over.
All right, I got 2 more questions about Sting's match, and then we can move on unless anyone else wants to say anything. It's one of the last 2 questions. What did y'all think of Ric Flair's involvement?
Please keep Ric Flair away from a ring because at one point, I really did think that he had gone to the great beyond.
In the words of a famous podcaster, I think he died a little bit. We were talking about this last aftermath of Dynamite, and they're like, why wouldn't you do the double turn at the pay-per-view? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, do it at the Dynamite, because just in case something goes off, we all saw them punches. Them punches were not good. So yeah, let's do it at Dynamite, and then we'll have them just stay on Sting's side during the match. And like, don't even like you saw in the match. Don't even punch. We're going to give you the smoothness of super kicks, and then you just fall. And that's all you got to do. Take the super kick and just go away.
Ricky Steamboat took a way bigger bulk.
Right?
And I am more comfortable Ricky Steamboat taking that bump. I would be comfortable Ricky Morton taking a bump more than I would be with Ric Flair taking a bump.
Although I will say Julia did wrestle a match in TNA.
We gonna move past Julia. We talk about and us hoping that we don't see, another situation happening in the ring.
All right, and my last question. We always know how wrestlers say they're retired and then come back. What do you think the chances are Sting actually stays retired? You don't think it'll ever come back?
Think Sting is going to stay retired.
Now, we could see him again in a non-wrestling capacity. I could definitely see him coming out to manage a Darby Allin match. If Darby's having a big match, I could definitely see him doing that.
Like
him getting attacked or something like that. I could see that. I don't see him wrestling just because the wear and tear that it took on his body. And now that he's got a granddaughter, I think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna Ric Flair us.
I don't think I could say he'll never take a bump again, but I will say he'll never have a match again.
Yeah, unlike Ric Flair, he's very content with being. Spoil kayfabe alert, Steve. Like you saw him with his baby. You saw him with his. Like I love that picture with his grandchild. I'm like, okay, how many times have you held your grandchild with your face paint on? Because she is unfazed. She is happy to see Paw Sting. I'm like, so how many times have you held her with the black and white face paint on? Because usually babies like,
you gotta realize her mom works behind backstage, and her mom is a wrestler.
Sting just be hanging out at home in the face paint, just be chilling, mowing his lawn, barbecuing.
But if he's backstage and mom is backstage, and she might have seen him a few times. Plus, babies really don't get fazed by shit unless you do something to make it scary. Kids will go to you've seen the scary movies with the unaliver is holding the kid and unaliving people, and the kid is like, "Wee, water! Why is it red?" Yeah, that's kids. They're weird.
I remember when I was 11 or 12, my mother had bought this Halloween mask, and I had put it on, and my niece and nephew were just absolutely terrified of it.
Were you making haunting noises, or you just get the face with this on, or
I just had it on.
Okay.
But to be fair, it was a very creepy looking mask.
My children feared nothing until they started kindergarten. And they would watch the scariest of scary movies. I'm over here what is it Priscilla? And they're like, ooh, mommy, look. And I'm
y'all your own players.
Who you?
I mean, I grew up with Courage the Cowardly Dog, so maybe I have a warped sense compared to other people.
That was one of their favorite shows. They also they wanted to watch The Exorcist. They thought that would be fun.
Well. So we probably don't need to touch on every match of Revolution, but was there another one or two that you really wanted to talk about, Sammy, or another?
I wanted to talk about a match that wasn't on there.
Okay.
The TBS title was not defended.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
So
That
when
is correct.
defended, I heard that Julia just got off of the injured list, so she was injured. That's why she hasn't been wrestling. They
Okay.
did do a tag team on the 0 hour, so maybe that's like before. Let's make sure that she's good to go before we put her in a singles match, and I do appreciate that, right? And so like I know we've been pressing hard for AEW to do better by women, but you do got to make sure that they're good to go. I never want the women to be in a position where it's like, oh, that sucked, and we could have prevented it. So I'm totally fine with it not being on the show.
Yeah.
And men or women, I don't think they have to force title matches onto pay-per-views just to have title matches on pay-per-views. I mean, if it works out story-wise, great. If not, then it's not. I mean, not every title has to be defended on every pay-per-view all the time. Like,
I don't think it would have made sense to put a match up there, because a lot of these matches were like grudge matches.
mm-hmm.
Yes, like the story was not there, even though they've been on Rampage.
Sure.
It wasn't hot. It wasn't really hot enough to be on the main event of AEW Revolution.
Right.
Yeah, like the Hangman match. Like, you would talk about grudges. Grudge of the secondary grudge of the century. First would be Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston, and Christian and Dead Parents. Okay, it's Christian and Dead Parents. Then it's Danielson and Kingston. Then it's Hangman and Swerve. That's how we can.
Hangman beating up refs gave me so much joy of how unhinged he is. Like, you are not counting a 3. What did I tell you? I told you not to do it.
When he teamed with RVD and Hook, that was hilarious to me, because RVD was like, I heard what you said about Prince Nana, and I heard he might have something that I'm interested in. And Hook is over here like, yeah.
So on our AEW Revolution watch long, it was me and Dolores was actively very upset and unhappy when Swerve did not win. How did you guys feel about that?
Called it.
I was happy.
Called it.
Explain why you were happy.
Because Swerve has a problem with every time he starts getting a push, Swerve opens his motherfucking mouth and fucks his shit up. So he can swerve when he drives with them light-skinned girls that he loves that aren't black. And when he learns how to be respectful to people who have supported him from day one, then he can say something. Until then, fuck Swerve.
Ooh, so now we're anti-Swerve. All right.
We're not anti-Swerve.
I'm anti-Swerve.
Oh, okay. For me, the hype that he would have gotten when he finally wins it has drastically lowered. It'll be like, okay, cool for you, good. It ain't gonna be like, yeah, it will definitely not be Kofi Mania. It'll be like, okay, cool, good for you. That's cool.
I don't want him to be a transitionary champion. And if he wins right now, he'd be a transitionary champion.
There's that, and I think it was it ALW, or was it Sammy who said, or was it somebody else who said, like, if he won here, it would be overshadowed by Sting's last match.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on the other podcast, and I think Joshi said it.
I don't listen to them. So
okay. But I heard from Joshi.
It was either here or Wrestle Talk that I heard it from. But as much as I dislike him as a person, I cannot take away from the fact that if he won, it would be a very big deal. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Revolution would have been that. I think if they do it properly when they're in London or the UK, having it be like double header, Swerve versus whoever, Swerve wins, and then if Kenny is able to Okada Omega, the thing is, I don't know if Kenny is going to be able to when that comes around. And I know that's a ways away, but every time he starts making progress, he kind of gets pushed back. So just to make sure that they have the best chances of a great main event, I think Swerve has to finally definitively get rid of Hangman. And keep him
I think I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think
Let's
I
hear
got to figure it
Sammy's
out.
fantasy booking. Go ahead. Book him for it.
Swerve wins the title at Wrestle Dream against Adam Cole.
No.
No.
That's-
So you said earlier you didn't want Swerve to be a transitional champion. Transitional to who? Who do you think is going to be the next?
It's going to be Wardlow, and then Wardlow's going to
Oh,
give the title to
boom.
Adam Cole.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No.
I'm not
Okay,
sure
okay.
I don't
believe
want
that.
it to happen, but that's where the storyline's going.
Let me
Yeah, I'm
confirm.
not sure I agree with that.
Now, look, here's the thing. So they're doing Warlow versus Joe next
Mhm.
Wednesday at Big
Yeah.
Business.
This
I don't think-
tomorrow.
I think the title changes hands at Big Business.
No.
No.
Okay. So, all right,
Do I
for
want
me,
it to happen? No. Do I think it's going to happen? Yes.
nah.
I don't
Like,
think I don't want it to, and I don't think it will.
So here's the thing, right? Samoa Joe is cooking right now.
Yes.
And when I say like I'm not saying like he's on a burner. He is so hot, which made three-way so good because it's like, who do you want to win? I want Joe to be the forever champion. I know he won't be, but at least give me one more
At
pay-per-view,
least you
right?
do it, so can Joe.
Well, where do you guys
Now-
think that the Adam Cole storyline's going?
Adam Cole has a few more months before he is fully healed. One.
We
Two,
don't know where MJF is hurt. Yeah.
who gives a fuck? Two, the issue is if they give the belt to Wardlow now, he is very, very cold. They have already messed him up once. He can't survive another one.
Yeah.
I don't know if Wardlow
I don't think he's
touches
ready to
that
be
belt.
champion. I think it's a mistake to put that belt on Wardlow. I don't think he has the skills in the ring. I don't think he has the skills on the mic. He's not ready to be the face of a company and hold that
Wardlow
belt
needs
yet.
to either go to Japan or he needs to go to ROH and develop on the mic. Because the
Wardlow's too
physical
old.
presence is there. He opens his mouth and you're just like, oh.
It's annoying.
Ward,
But speaking
right
of-
Wardlow
I want-
is too old. His only chance to do it is having Adam Cole speak for him.
Wardlow is not too old.
It's not about well, he's not older than Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe is killing it right now.
Okay, he's not as old as Samoa Joe, but he's not that much younger
He's
than Samoa Joe.
he's
either.
younger than when Roman Reigns started speaking, and we all know baby teeth Roman Reigns. sucks.
Look at that.
I think he's older.
Mm-mm.
Like, but as of right now, with the Undisputed Kingdom, that storyline is not hot. It really isn't hot. And right now, the only thing that was going for him is that Roderick Strong is the Messiah of the Backbreaker, and that match was pure gold at Revolution. And then that match was great, but O'Reilly coming back made it 10 times better. So as of right now, Wardlow is not hot enough to be champion.
What did O'Reilly?
Yeah, Wardlow's older.
What did O'Reilly say? You do.
Oh, I know he said
That's what I want to know. He said what he wanted us to say, but what he really said.
I googled it. Wardlow is older than when Roman Reigns became the tribal chief.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think for me, Wardlow's not ready. I'd be very disappointed if they put that belt on Wardlow right now.
I think Wardlow's never going to be ready.
Yeah,
And,
I agree. I personally agree with that.
and his only chance is having Adam Cole speak for him.
Well, that was going to be my other question before we moved on to Wardlow. I was going to say Swerve lost here. Do you think Swerve ever becomes AEW champion?
Yes,
oh yes.
this year. It'll be late this year, but it'll be this year. That's
Like right now, AEW has a plethora of people who could and should be champion. Revolution was the main event was Sting, and like CM said, and whoever she heard said, that if Swerve Law is Swerve won here, it would have been overshadowed by Sting. It would have been a nice hot talking point, but it wouldn't be the big thing that we all know it should be. Now, when he does it, I don't, because again, like I said, the people that I talk about should be champion. Will Ospreay, my love, my darling. I think I see him winning the belt against Samoa Joe at All In. That's what I'm seeing, and maybe after. Oh,
See,
Oh, here's a
I
question.
don't think Ospreay's going for this title.
No.
Well,
He
here's
should.
my question. My question is, because we all know who Will Ospreay already is, he comes in with the name and cachet. Is it fair for him to get a shot right away just because he's Will Ospreay?
Yes.
We got
And
two different opinions here. CM says no, and Nika says yes.
Okay, here's my thing. Right off the bat, no. Like I said, All In is in August. That's plenty of time for him to get some wins and do it. But I think keep him in the main event picture because, no offense, you see what happened to Jay White. You see what happened to Jay White. That's the example of a slow freaking burn. Put him in the Stupid Behind group. Okay, sorry. Stupid Behind group is the Acclaim and Bang Bang Sure Gang. This Bang Bang Gang was doing very well, but unfortunately, Rock Hard got hurt and it lost a little bit of fluster. So, but yeah. That's what happens when you don't put someone on the freaking iron and let it stay hot. So I'll say that. Don't do what you do with Jay White. Don't do what you do with Jay White. I don't know what that means in terms of storylines, but don't you do to Ospreay what you did to Jay White. That's all I'm saying.
I might be one of the only people who enjoys what Jay White is doing, but I might also be one of the only people who sees what Jay White is doing because I have called Cody the heel since he was in AEW, and now people are finally kind of starting to see it. But Jay White is very simply taking down the people who could be the biggest opposition to him, winning belts the way he wants to. He is taking down Billy Gunn and his sons. He's taking down all of Billy Gunn's sons because all of the rest of the group look like they could be Billy's kids except for Jay White. Jay White is very slowly and methodically taking these people down from the inside. I think he's going to use them to take down Adam Cole's group, leverage that into him getting what he wants, which could be Roderick Strong's belt, and going from there. I don't think Ospreay should touch the AEW big gold belt until maybe next year. I could see him winning potentially that Triple Crown and defending it around the world because then he could spend some more time at home as well. Or I could see him being the one who consistently gets screwed from winning that belt because other people do shit and him snapping and being like, I am so fucking tired of this shit and just going on a rampage. Will Ospreay right now is a face. Face Ospreay has limitations. We need a reason for him to turn heel. But as long as he don't get pulled into the Jericho vortex, I think okay.
And they almost had him. All in last year, they almost had him, but he broke free.
That's Hook. Hook's the one currently getting pulled into the Jericho vortex.
All right. Okay, so last thing, I'll leave it alone.
I'm lighting the candle about that every night, so you get pulled away.
All right, going to Jay White real quick. I understand what you're saying. It's just taking too long, and then the fear of hopefully. So this might be a bad comparison, but I'll say it anyway. Like, we know Danielson's retiring. I really, even though people say he don't need that belt, I really wish they would have given that belt to him when it was him versus MJF, that Iron Man match. I really feel like they could have just let him have that belt real quick, 2 months, and then drop it. I think that was a missed opportunity, and maybe that's what I'm coming from, a place of fear a little bit. We'll also get younger. Huh?
Did Danielson want it?
that probably is a question for him to answer. If he
He
didn't
said
want
he
it,
didn't want it. He said Bree told him he don't need it.
That's what I'm saying. But talking about Sting. Sting said he didn't want the tag team champions, and he had to freaking talk him into it. Like, sir, we're giving you your flowers. You're gonna win these tag champs, and you're gonna go out on top. So sometimes some people gotta be talked into it.
Your partners and your partner and your boss versus your wife.
So Jay White is still very young. He doesn't look it, but he's still very young. He's like half a decade younger than Wardlow. Like,
Okay.
he's got so much future ahead of him. So I'm not really worried about Jay White right now.
Jay White looks like he's a smooth 40.
He's like 31.
With a 50-year-old face.
Younger than me.
With a 50-year-old
Oh,
face.
yeah, when I looked it up, like if you take off the beard, he looks creepy.
Jay White has old man face.
They showed
Apologies to me. Apologies. It's just Jay White looks so creepy without the beard. But with the beard, he looks like he could be making a list of where to put people in arenas. And not in a good way.
So on to Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay, 1, just showed up. And 2, I feel like there's 2 titles I could see him going after before ever going for the world title. And I used to think it was one over the other, but now I've flip-flopped that. I used to thought it was the international championship, but now that Orange isn't the champion anymore, it's Roderick Strong. I instead change my thoughts to that and say it's the Triple Crown. Eddie Kingston. Will Ospreay will be taking that title off of Eddie Kingston.
Oh, are we sure?
And I think it's going to happen at Dynasty.
Are we sure?
I can see that.
Well, I say this because there is a coin flip ninja that just came, and they're doing a little a little program with Eddie, Penta, and Pac. And before Penta and Pac came out, Mr. Rainmaker was sure looking at that Triple Crown belt real mighty heavily. He was looking at it real heavily.
Oh.
It's too soon for Okada to win the belt. Again, I think if you want to build it up properly, you get Ospreay holding the belt, then Okada and the Bucks screw him out of the belt, and that's what leads to Okada Omega 5 with Kenny winning the belt, and then that's when Will Ospreay can turn heel.
Against Omega.
And it could be something amazing because Danielson will be leaving active wrestling around that time, and he'll be more in the writer's room. So that gives you quite a bit of time for Collision, and you can rebuild Collision around Will Ospreay and Jay White, Kenny Omega, Okada, stuff like that, where people don't have to be on Dynamite and Collision. You can make Collision like a very solid show that people are going to watch because it's going to be the show, and you can build it up that way.
AEW has star powers. They have all these cards on the table. It's just about how they use them.
So I think there's been a debate for a little while whether they have their roster is bloated and overfilled. They already have too many people, and now they have Ospreay and Okada coming in. Do you think it's too much?
No.
Like CM said, Sting just left, so you need a seasoned person, and then you have Danielson's going to leave it all in. So those two are the main slots. Sting was a top mid-carder, and Danielson was a main event person. So you definitely need to fill in those 2 slots. And honestly, it really is about putting people in the right sections and letting them cook. Like,
and you don't know when Omega's coming back. Moxley can't carry the company forever. Like,
take a break. Please.
He wasn't even on TV this week.
Like, you can't keep calling the alarm.
Every time I get onto X, I regret it.
I don't get on that.
What's X? I know Twitter. I don't know this
Twitter.
X.
Bruh! Is it still called a tweet? What is it called now?
It's called Twitter. We are over 30. It is Twitter. We are over 30. It is Twitter.
as soon as I opened it up, it was to Max Caster, and like people were just giving him an earful. It's
About
just like,
what?
what is wrong with
What did you
people?
guys think about Eddie Kingston getting the clean win at Revolution over Brian Danielson?
I loved it. I loved it. Eddie needed that.
How did you feel about Danielson doing that? All right.
Because we know that's vintage Danielson, where it's just like to do, in real life, right? After a fight, who gonna get over their emotions that fast and say, I'm just gonna hand this over? No, give me a second to lick my wounds and compose myself and be like, you won, bet. But like, honestly, after the Sting match, this was my match of the night. It was so Eddie Kingston is so good and Danielson is so good that the winning prize of a handshake means so it means so
I didn't think
freaking
Eddie was
much.
going to win. I did not think Eddie was going to win that whole time. I had hope, but I did not think Eddie was going to win. I thought he would be too emotional, and Danielson would play off of that. I thought Mox would come down there, and that would be a deciding factor. And he wouldn't mean to distract Eddie, but he would. Like, yeah.
And then
Yeah, I was very
post-match
happy.
speech.
It made me very happy for sure. I think it's great for Eddie because obviously his career continues. We know Danielson's career is ending, and to put somebody over like that with a big win, I think that's huge. I mean, I think that
I
shows a
got a
lot.
question for you, ALW.
Yeah.
And you, Sammy. How do y'all feel about the Bucks calling out Eddie Kingston's attire of his sweatpants and his Timbs, and how Eddie responded to it?
I didn't hear Eddie's response. I didn't actually hear the call out either, but the Bucks are in their bag right now. I like Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the EVPs. I think this is the best they might have ever been in their career. They're so slimy and swarmy. And yeah, I mean, Eddie's low hanging fruit. There's a lot of low hanging fruit for Eddie. You could talk about his outfit. You could talk about his weight. You could talk about his never reaching his potential, all those things. And people take a lot of shots. So yeah, I mean, I've taken a few shots at his ring gear. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, and that's perfect. That's on par. What did they actually say?
They were like, "You need to dress more professionally. You're in sweatpants and Timbs all the time." And they were like, "If you keep dressing like this, we're gonna have to fine you." And that's why when he came out there, he was like, "Oh, next time, and I'm wearing sweatpants and Timbs. You're gonna fine me and pull out the money and just throw it."
I got some stuff to say.
So, me personally, I don't really own sweatpants, but I do like my Timbs.
Like, I'm a wrestler though. This is a wrestling company. You supposed to be dressed to fight on site, ninjas on site.
I feel like Eddie Kingston could be in a 3-piece suit and be ready to fight.
You really?
There's that too.
You just catch him on the right day.
Anything else we want to talk about as far as Revolution?
Max Caster choking.
Yeah, what was that? I mean, I was a little confused. I mean, did he just forget? I mean, I guess now we know he forgot his lines or whatever. But like at the time, I wasn't sure if he forgot his lines. He just decided to end it for some reason. Like I wasn't sure what was going on. Like it was
okay. So for the first time, it was on Collision. I'm really sure now. I'm gonna say that was real. I was gonna say that's an accident. I think now they're leaning into it. They're leaning into it. I need Max. Your rhymes have been basic. I need you to come out with the freaking fire of your heelish ways from 2021. If we're gonna postpone you not rapping for a couple of months to a week, I need you to come with fire. You came with a little sizzle. I need you to come with fire. So we're gonna wait. It's gonna be a story and a work now.
I think so many people have been so pissed off about Max Caster's raps that he didn't forget it was always a ploy, because watching him, going back and looking at it, I don't think he's that good of an actor, but it looked very intentional that he paused when he did. And this could also just be from learned and lived experience, like watching people rap and like watching them put shows together, and then watching someone forget their line and like how quickly they came up with something else.
Yeah.
It looked very intentional. the way that he did it the first time. And I think they're leaning into it more. And I think it's going to be the first kind of Jay White move to be like, Max, you don't need to rap. Like, you can wrestle. And Max is not the strongest wrestler out of all of them. So that's going to be sliding Max Caster out. Again, Jay White is a master manipulator. And I think if they've done it the way I think they've done it, just picking them off. Just pick them off.
I guess with the story, pick it up like just 2 centimeters faster and give them actual competitive matches with people that I know. Just if we're gonna keep the story going a little bit longer, just do those 2 things and maybe you'll get back on the boil. But to put a bow on AEW Evolution, I love Sting retirement. I think he's the poster child for you don't have to be in WWE to be a big star. And I love that. I love that he finished basically back where he got most of his fame from, on Turner Classic channel. It wasn't WCW, it was AEW, but it was still Turner Classic channel. And I love that. And so yeah, people, WWE is not the be all end all. You can be great and famous other places.
Who is the
Put
next?
into tribalism, people.
Who are going to be the next tag team champions?
I honestly don't know. They have so many great tag teams. I don't know.
I'm probably going to go with BCC. Like, they just beat FTR at Revolution. Like, why not roll with it?
Because they don't really need the belts.
It could be them. It could be the infantry. It could be Private Party. It could be so many different.
Do we even know the full tournament bracket yet?
No.
I don't. Like, there's just so many different people. It could.
I assume there'll be qualifying matches, and then whatever you got to beat.
I don't know if
to
it's
get
gonna be
into the tournament.
qualifying.
Well, the Young Bucks are in and FTR's in. They were very clear about that.
Okay.
Infantry is in as well.
I mean, go ahead.
Okay, real quick. Okay, so storyline wise, the top 3 tag teams are FTR and BCC. I think FTR should win over BCC because it would make that win on Revolution make a little more sense, right? Young Bucks needed to solidify their characters of being evil EVPs. But for me personally, give it the best friends. Sweet Jesus, they've been here how long?
Well,
They've been on the freaking ground. No, boo.
OC and Trent.
Yes.
Come on.
No.
Why not?
If their best friends are going to get it, it should be Chuck, not OC.
Here's my prediction.
You know what? If the Young Bucks insert the tournament, I think they could do it by like having the standing Bucks get beat up and then winning the match after they've had
that
their
would be
standing
amazing. I would love to see that. That'd be a great storyline. Just let
You
two
know,
other fake Bucks
executive
go in and
privilege and
take those
everything.
nonsense. Yeah, exactly. And then they just come in and get the pin. No, I think the Kingdom's going to end up being the next tag team champion. Taven and Bennett. I think
They're already the champs, though.
They're
always champ.
Yeah, okay. Side note, can we please merge these, besides the Themis title, merge all of these trio belts and tag team title belts? They don't, like, or at least, for heaven's sakes, wrestle on ROH!
Yeah, I mean, really.
Champion!
Undisputed Kingdom doesn't care about Ring of Honor. AEW television doesn't really care about Ring of Honor like that.
I think AEW needs two tag title championships because they got so many tag teams.
I think the Kingdom will be the next championship because I think they want. I think they see Undisputed Kingdom as a big draw. I don't necessarily see it that way, but
Nana's team. Khan and his
Samoan Nick.
What did you say, Sammy?
Gates of Agony.
Gates of Agony.
I could see them being the dark horses and winning because Khan has been getting a lot of attention for the indie dates that he's been doing and how he's been getting over more and more. that groundswell has actually helped other wrestlers, so we don't know.
When did they lose the trios titles?
They won. Oh
Shit, I don't
no,
know.
no. Okay. So the United. Okay, we're gonna go
We're
backwards.
talking about United Kingdom or United Empire?
United Kingdom won it off of the Young Bucks and no.
United Kingdom.
Undisputed Kingdom, same people. Wait. So
no, they
Hey,
got
hold
the ROH tag titles. The Gates of Agony had the trios titles.
yeah, I'm trying
With
to go
Brian
backwards.
Cage, right?
Yes,
I'm trying to go
Yeah.
backwards.
and
And
they lost to Jay White.
Right.
But no, and then at one point, when did that happen?
Undisputed Kingdom did not have the trios belts. They lost. Was it Final Battle?
No, I think it was a random. What you call it? Dynamite. All right, we're talking about the ROH trio titles. Before I get confused, right? The trio
ROH
titles,
trios
right?
titles.
I know that the Gates of Agony and the Young Bucks and Heyman had like 2 bouts, right? Where the Young Bucks and Heyman won them. And
January 17th.
Okay, so it was this year.
Yeah.
But when did that? Sweet Jesus! Because now I confuse my doggone self. I'm even going to admit the trios. Okay, who has them now? The trios title, the early trio titles. Who have them now?
The Bang
ROH.
Bang Gang.
Yeah.
Bang Bang Gang.
Yes.
Wait. The Righteous could be really great in the tag team tournament. Damn it, there's so many people.
I am so mad whoever green lighted MJF beating the Righteous by himself. That was stupid. Cause I love the Righteous. I love when it's only a gimmick if you don't live it and you can't do it right. The Righteous live their character is through their bodies. It feels so authentic. I hate it when MJF beat him by himself. I'm like, no, someone come and help him.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Jay White fits them better than he does the Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah.
They could be the undercover henchman.
So Jay White, the Righteous, Lance Archer, and Jake Roberts. Like that's a pretty cool
So
faction.
you just want to put an unaliver group together, huh? It's
All right,
just
what else?
so many people. So many people.
Jamie, what else? Anything else about Revolution?
You want to talk about the scramble match?
No.
Okay. BCC beating FTR. That was a great match. I don't know if y'all liked it, but I sure did.
I loved it.
It was great. Oh, and them coming out. I love everyone doing their little WCW things where like so VCC came out in the Ward Warriors gear. I'm like, yes, let's take this all the way back to the 80s. Let's go.
Mariah May coming out as Tony Storm.
Bro,
I thought that was Tony. I was like, damn, her and stitches are great. And then I was like, wait, her boobs don't look right. And then she looked at and I was like, oh, that's Mariah.
But bro, that was a swerve. All puns.
I thought Deanna was gonna win that one.
You did?
Yeah. When she didn't, I was surprised. But I like having the 2 versions of Tony Storm. I think that's really cool. Like one in color, one in black and white. Like that's really cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought Deanna very well could win. I'm glad Tony did, just because she's so, hot right now and cooking. But yeah, I was surprised. I wasn't surprised, but it was hard for me to pick that one.
I'm so happy she got away from the Soraya vortex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aside from the trios tag titles, Tony's title's the only one that feels safe to me.
What do you might say?
Like all the other titles, I feel like could be changing hands in the next couple months.
But
is that a good thing, though? I mean, isn't that an indictment of a lack of building up other characters that you think are viable contenders? I mean, Tony's good, but she's not that good. I mean, right? She's not like...
She's not a thing of good. She's not a thing of good.
Speaking of Athena, when are we going to see that move? Is she ever going to go from ROH to the?
Oh, no.
We
I
gonna
think when
see her?
Mercedes comes, I think that's when you're going to see that move.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I
You
hope
think they
so.
come together?
No. Both sides
I
of the
love them to come together, but I think once Mercedes beats Serena Deeb, she's going to be like, I'm the best technical women's wrestler. And then Athena pops up and gives her hell for the laugh.
So let's talk about it real quick, right?
Like not roasted Athena.
Do we know that Serena Deeb's going to be her first match?
That's what it looks like it's lining up to be.
Yeah.
Huh?
Also, what title do you think Mercedes is going to go after?
So let's talk about it. Big business next Wednesday.
Yep.
This
I
is
want her-
tomorrow, girl.
Tomorrow.
Next
It's tomorrow.
It's Tuesday. I'm so tired.
Yeah, tomorrow.
But I don't want her to go for a title just off the bat of her return. I would love her to have.
Oh, I think it'll be double or
on-fire
nothing.
feud. Huh?
I think it'll be double or nothing.
Before
I
she
don't
has an
know.
opportunity in a championship?
Where she gets her opportunity and she makes good on her opportunity.
I mean,
When
this
is
is
double or
the same question as Osprey, right? I mean, we know who she is. She comes in with this cachet.
No,
we know
I think
it's-
Osprey can get his opportunity at Dynasty.
But I'm just saying, it's the same question. Do they deserve right off the top because of who they are?
I think Mercedes should go for the ROH belt.
I was thinking she might go for the TBS belt.
Nah. Okay,
I
real
think
quick.
Those two are really good, but they're kind of wrapped up in feuds. I think her going for the ROH belt would be a surprise and would get more attention on ROH.
My
When is
guess
double-
is it's going to be her and Tony, right? I mean, that's she wants that major belt. I think she wants the big belt, but we'll
See,
see
I
how
think
that
it's going to be
plays
her
out.
and Willow. Double or nothing.
So when is double or nothing? When is that double or nothing?
May, late May.
Late May. Okay.
So
Here's
2.5
the thing.
months.
Yeah, but here's the thing: what AOW was like. As of right now, unfortunately, besides Athena, and that's because they just let Athena have her own devices. I don't think any woman on the AEW roster is big enough for a Mercedes Moné feud. That's just me.
Well,
That's-
Willow, they have a grudge match. She and Willow do have the grudge match that has to happen.
And I would have loved if, like, okay, like you said, big business tomorrow. And
It
yes,
should,
I do
it
love her.
should be Julia versus Willow. I mean, it should have been that at the pay-per-view last week, but
Yeah, Julia's hurt. But like, I would have loved if they would have kept reminding people, hey, Willow is the last person to beat Mercedes. You've had when did you announce big business? You've
Well-
had so many months. You
well,
had
they
3 or 4
haven't
months.
officially announced Mercedes as
We know she's coming.
we know.
I love Willow to death. I think she's great. My question is she a big enough name for Mercedes?
She's not. But
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she could have been. She could have been. If you would have built her up properly for when she won the title off of Willow, when she won the freaking Owen Cup, but you didn't do anything about like how you win these 2 accolades, but you still don't put her in the main event.
Look, as long as it's not Britt Baker, I don't really care who it is. Because if it's against Britt Baker, Mercedes has a high chance of being hurt.
I mean,
Oh,
she's not going to lose her first match, right? Or her first couple matches. I mean, she's going to win, right? So
Maybe.
who are you willing to sacrifice to her? Is the question. I'm not really okay with sacrificing Willow. I mean, that doesn't seem right to me.
I think Serena Deeb should be a feud that lasts a few weeks. I think during that, you should also have her go against like Diamante, Red Velvet, Kiera Hogan, for the simple fact of Kiera Hogan, her and Mercedes have or had real life issues. Diamante is Kiera Hogan's significant other, and Red Velvet is really, really good in the ring. So you got like 4 ready-made things there. Builds it up, and then have Sasha go after Athena. And when she wins, it's revealed. I mean, Mercedes go after Athena, And when she wins, it's revealed that she had either Nyla soften up Athena, or she's influenced Billy Starks, because Billy is so innocent and so sweet, and Mercedes used to be just like her, and she had a best friend who was just like her.
Matches I want to see the most, though.
Do if you invest the time.
That part. Please invest time. And I think they're going to. They're already given her Mercedes her rider, and it feels like she's already in control of how they're going to present her. So, thumbs up. We'll see.
Go ahead,
But
Tim. You were going to say something?
Yeah.
The people who I want to see Mercedes face the most is Willow, Athena, and Thunder Rosa.
I was just about to ask about Thunder Rosa and where she fits in now that she's back with all of this.
Yeah, there's some interesting things happening with Thunder Rosa.
She's wrestling on Collision.
She's still in her promotion. She keeps holding up that fist. What's happening there? I want clarification on that before she and Mercedes get into it.
Cause like some certain True Hill crackhead said allegedly, they have not brought up yet. They have not brought up yet that Thunder Rosa was not beat for her title. When are we gonna bring that up?
If you bring that up, that opens up a whole can of worms in regards to Toni Storm, in regards to Britt Baker, that they just kind of got over. I don't know if they're gonna bring that.
But personally, I think that Toni Storm will hold her title until All In.
That was just gonna be my next question. She just beat Deanna. Is it over, or
she's
do we have
face
another match
Deanna
with
again?
Deanna?
But she's gonna beat Deanna again. Deanna's not gonna beat her for the title.
Okay,
I think Deanna beats her for the title.
Jamie Hayter.
So you think Jamie Hayter's coming back at All In?
I think she'll defeat Toni Storm at All In.
What'd you say, Tia?
I think Mariah is going to turn on Toni, and that's how whoever's coming in wins.
I agree with that.
It would be cool to see it be Jamie.
Plus, I think Mariah and Jamie could make a good team too.
You just want Jamie back, or is there something out there that's actually the timeline?
I'm just inferring from how long she's been gone.
Yeah.
She
should be back by then, right?
I have no idea. I don't know what the injury even was, or what the time frame was to heal or any of that. I mean, I have no idea. So
I think she should be back by then.
I know she's been gone for a while. I can say that.
Before it's been definitely a year and some change.
Wow, it's been that long already. Wow.
So remember, they wanted her. They wanted her for All In, but she was hurt, and so they were like, "Do we transition the bill or not?" And they're like, "Nope, we got to give the belt to someone else." So we gave it to Sheeta. What a freaking Sheeta! You know what?
He's on ROH facing Athena, where she was.
But we do have Riho back.
Yeah.
And she's going to be facing Willow, and I am really, really looking forward to that match.
Y'all, they have the talent. I just need y'all to
invest.
Do more. Invest. Please invest.
I've gone on record as I'm not the biggest Chris Statlander fan, but she is a good talent and a former champion, and she's a good competitor for the women to face.
I was about to say, we got a couple options. We can either continue, or we've been talking for like an hour. CM was going to go, so I was going to say goodnight, but obviously it didn't have time to say it. So we can continue talking or whatever if you guys want to talk about.
We've spent the whole time talking about AEW.
This is true.
Let's flip it up. Talk about the other company.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about WWE. How you feel about this tag match? And if Cody and Seth win, then it's just a normal match. But if they lose, then it's a Bloodlines rules match.
I think this is all building up to fuck Cody one more time. Roman
And I
Reigns,
would love it.
I
Well,
believe Roman Reigns is going to walk out of WrestleMania with that belt
but
again.
there's a part of me, just a small part, that thinks that Cody and Seth lose, and then night 2 Roman comes out, Bloodline rules, but instead of helping Roman, he attacks Roman, gets Cody to win, just like it was all in the plans all along. Me and Cody have been working together since the beginning, and you believed it all.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just have this feeling that they're going to fuck Cody again, and I'm here for it. I don't like Roman Reigns.
You.
I don't like Roman Reigns, and I do think that they should, at some point he needs to give up that belt. But at this point, I think it's just funny. I just think it would be funnier if they just fucked Cody again. I just think
Yeah.
it just seems like par for the course. My contention when he came over from AEW was that they were going to make him. That he was going to end up sitting in catering or have to be Stardust again. Obviously, it wasn't that bad, but at the same time, like, I do believe that they don't want him to finish his story. I think fuck Cody Rhodes is really what's going on in their minds. Like, yeah, we'll let him do this and do that, but we're not going to actually let him have his moments. So, here it is again. And Roman Reigns, I think, he walks out with the titles.
Uh,
I mean,
I do think that it adds a little to the tag team match to put the stipulation there.
The Fiend lost.
Not that the tag team match needs a whole lot, just because I think in and of itself. Honestly, I'm more excited for the tag team match than I am for Roman and Cody, just because I feel like I already know what's going to happen. So I think there's more. I think it's harder to pick who's going to win the tag team match than it is Roman and Cody. In my opinion.
The Fiend lost. R-Truth lost. Sami Zayn lost. Quite a few people who have been top sellers that did not lose their matches.
so okay, here's my feelings about this whole scenario. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
Right.
I don't
I have
care.
fatigue as well. I agree.
Like, bruh, I honestly feel as though
That's what I'm saying.
all of the fan backlash has made me, and I get it, right? New era, we have a voice, yay! But I don't think we should have a voice in everything. I really don't. Now, I will say this: in my mind, the best scenario was let Cody beat Roman at Elimination Chamber, and just have Roman versus Rock for Tribal Chief at WrestleMania. I was all for that. That would be perfect. But no. I don't care.
That's a consolation prize. You don't get the belts. We'll put you on the cover.
But I don't care. I don't care
CM
about
Punk.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
like no offense. All this fan outrage, like maybe it's me, but I was not concerned about them putting the belt on Cody. I really wasn't. I think people are trying to rush this, and I think people are scared for no good freaking reason. They're like, well, last year, that wasn't his match.
No.
That was Roman's match. That was Rock's match. But Rock said no at the very last minute, and he got inserted. This year, it wasn't his match. Because they said Rock agreed to his deal to be on the TKO board if he has a match with Roman. So I'm not sure where the communication got lost in that transition, but it was always supposed to be Rock versus Roman. And for me, who loves the Bloodline storyline, that's more appealing than having this Cody person come in and that had nothing to do with the freaking story. His story is winning the belt that his daddy won off camera. His story is not to defeat Roman. And I'm trying to be mellow in these chats, but it's like, no, I don't understand why y'all think they're gonna screw over Cody. That's just me.
And also, it being WrestleMania, like what part of finishing the story
Cody's
means it
gonna
has
win?
to be at WrestleMania?
I think so this year, WrestleMania 40, I honestly don't know. Would just make it appealing, right? I would love Okay, again, story-wise, I think it'll be perfect if they screwed Cody because now Rock is on top of the board and he's his boss. There's more chunk. There's more meat on the bone for that. I think I'm finally glad that Luke Owen said it. If you make Cody champion, what do you do with that reign? Honest,
What are you gonna do if he doesn't win, Dolores? Also, on that note, Anika, last year, his entire story after Mania felt like he should have had the title for it, and
no,
Roman wasn't doing jack.
no, I don't think so. Because okay, let's think back. He had 3 matches with Brock. Heck no, I did not want that belt. I did not want that belt anywhere near Brock Lesnar, and that was before we knew what the next freak he was. But no,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't stand Brock Lesnar. That was not a thing I wanted. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me what you call it? Let me put a precedent. The views of Anika are just Anika. I am totally selfish in this moment and don't give a crap. I did not want the belt nowhere near Brock Lesnar. They're like, whoa, the belt would have made them matches better. No, it wouldn't have. It would
It wouldn't have made him better, but it would have made him make sense because, like,
no, it wouldn't have. Now,
well,
honestly,
what was Brock's issue?
now see, that's not because of the belt. That's because WWE writers don't want to spend time to put a 3-minute segment of Brock just saying, "You're not a top guy. I want to make money. I gotta take you out." That's all he had to say on the mic to make it make sense. But y'all didn't want to do that, so now fans are in their feelings, in their minds of, oh, why are y'all doing this? No, they had to write it out for us because y'all didn't want to say them 3 simple words on the mic. And then what else was Cody doing last year that y'all think that deserved a belt worthy thing? Him in the Bloodline, and I'm sorry, him versus Judgment Day, where he inserted himself in that foolishness that had nothing to do with him either. But for some reason, like, okay, yeah, we'll give him a Jada freaking belt. It's like,
Yeah, we'll have Cody versus Dominic Mysterio.
no. And then, so yeah, you want a championship match with him versus Dominic for the freaking title? No. So yeah, so for 30 seconds, I want y'all to tell me.
I'm on a pro Dom Dom train.
I do love Dom Dom, but he's not ready yet. I want y'all to tell me. Let's say Cody wins this belt. What does a Cody being a WWE champion reign look like?
I want to make a point. So ex-con Dom, con, ex-con, con. What's the opposite of a con? A pro. If he's an ex-con, it's pro. I'm pro Dom.
Okay.
That was a lot. That was
All right.
on trail with no breadcrumbs, sir.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Cody's reign looks like. I mean, the Cody's reign probably involves another match with Roman, I would imagine, right afterwards. Roman's going to want some sort of whatever. Jimmy Uso, maybe Solo gets a shot. I don't know. I assume he continues to feud with the Bloodline. I mean, I like the Bloodline, but I also think it's getting a little stale. I mean, I do think that it's, and I think that this is one of the issues when you have a guy hold the belt for 1,000+ days or 3, 4, 5 years, right? You start to have moments where it's downtime, right? And right now it feels like
Ebbs and
it's a little
flows.
down, right? Exactly. And
it goes up and it goes back down, and
that's one of the issues you have when you have that long a title reign. And right now, I think we're in a down. I think it's down at the moment. That's my personal opinion, but
and a lot of people would say it's up.
Just because we're going into WrestleMania, sure. I mean, I can see why people would say that, but and the insertion of The Rock, I guess, hypes it up a little bit. But but beyond that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's as hot as it was when Sami Zayn with the Sami Zayn story. I mean, I don't. I don't. I mean,
oh no,
I like The Rock, but I think that felt more natural.
Sami
organic,
Zayn was the pinnacle of the story.
Thank you. So So if you're talking about a parabola, right, or a bell curve, and that's the pinnacle, then we're on the back side of it, and we should, the question becomes how far towards the end are we? My opinion is we're probably not close enough, for my opinion, but for my liking. But it is what it is. I think WWE is spiteful, and I don't think they want Cody to have that belt.
I
I don't. I'm not going to say Cody deserves to win it. I'm not saying Cody has, the opportunity to have a great reign or any of that. I just think he went over there to do this, and I think they're spiteful enough to not let him do it.
I want to say all that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm in my own. Maybe in my own mind, and I'm being very basic with my thinking. But I do think that they're going to give the belt to Cody. Don't know when, but I do think they are. Maybe I have more faith than the average Cody fan because it's like, look at him. He is firm and ready to be champion. This is a
I know
matter of
that they.
when.
I know they've done it, and he's already, won and lost and whatever. But I thought, for me personally, I would have rather seen him go for Seth's belt, just because I like that
And he
Cody
effed that up.
Seth Cody story better. I would rather have seen that than,
And
because
he
I feel
effed
like
that up.
I think he has a better chance of beating. So to me, it's less predictable, that match, than Roman Cody. For me, Roman Cody doesn't. There doesn't feel like there's any unpredictability there.
But
Seth
but
Cody feels unpredictable to me, but
but
it
Cody
is
was the
what it
one who
is.
said, "I don't want the belt." So he effed that storyline up. So whatever.
Yep.
We for the Cody fans, you could have had Cody be champion a long time ago, but no, he said he wanted Roman's belt, and so that's why we're waiting. That's why you have to wait longer than you freaking expected.
Yep.
Also, the whole he beat Seth 3 times. He beat Seth in a cage with a broken titty.
Mhm.
Seth has become the champion, tried his damnedest, tried to make that belt mean something, wanted to redeem himself against Cody, who beat him 3 times, 1 time with a broken titty. And Cody says, "You don't matter. That belt you've worked and broke your back for does not matter. I don't want you. I want Roman, the guy who couldn't even beat you. I want him."
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
Like,
it shits on
how
Seth a
does
little
the
and the
story
title. I
not
mean, no doubt.
go to Seth being like, "Screw that guy. I'm the master manipulator. I am the architect. I will make you pay for looking down on me." How is that not where this story goes?
Yeah. Dolores says, why the F would you want the second hand belt? You want to be second in life, because I don't. No, but here's the thing, though, right? Like, you do want to be champion, and you have an ability to beat Seth. You've already proven that. I don't think you're beating Roman. So you're walking out of WrestleMania without a title. Potentially, you could have walked out of WrestleMania with a title. So, I mean, even if it is a second belt, I mean, I'd rather be Intercontinental Champion than no champion. I'd rather be, North American Champion in NXT than no champion, right? I mean, you'd rather be some sort of champion, even if it's second or third tier, than no champion at all, right? I mean, so
Because if
I don't know
not,
about that.
like, might as well get rid of all the belts aside from Roman's.
Well, there's that too, right? I mean, if that's the only belt that matters, then why do we even have any other belts, right? I mean, so obviously that's clearly not true. Or I don't think that's true. And I understand. I guess I understand the whole going for Roman. I just don't like it. I think the story is juicier with Seth. I think there's more there.
There's a
But
lot more to chew on with this Seth storyline. Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Speaking of Intercontinental title, Sammy versus Gunther.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, spoilers for people who didn't watch Raw. Sorry.
So
Oh,
they dropped the ball, right, with Sammy. In my opinion, with Sammy not beating Roman, right? When the bloodline when the whole thing went down, the separation, and Sammy lost to Roman, I thought Sammy should have beat Roman for that title at that time. When he didn't, I feel like he's kind of gone back to what he was before, which is kind of a second tier, non really main event guy, which I think he deserves to be in the main event. I'm just saying how WWE uses him, right? So, and I don't know, this is a perfect chance for him to have a title. I like it. He's been poised as kind of this, unbeatable guy, and he's beaten people that I think had a better chance against him in my mind than Sami Zayn. So to
But
lose to Sami Zayn, I don't know.
it's Sami Zayn,
It
the
is. You're
ultimate
absolutely right.
underdog.
You're absolutely right. I mean, no, I mean it's you're absolutely right. And I would love Sammy to win, and I'm not saying he won't. I'm not sure at this moment. The jury's still out for me.
So here's the thing, right? People are like, oh yeah, they dropped the ball on Sammy. Him beating Roman, that is a debatable situation, right? What they did afterwards, I think he was still in the burner. As you can see, him and KO were still tag team champions. They're still Monday Night Raw. I think the misstep was just a misstep. I don't think it was, but it was calculated though. The last thing they did was him versus Drew. Drew beats him up. He's gone for weeks, right? And I think they all assumed when he comes back on Royal Rumble, he's gonna get this big pop, and he'll be back where he was before he, what you call it, before he left and he was beating up Drew. But for some reason, that wasn't the case. I'm not sure why, but it wasn't the case. And so now it feels what could have been the hero, the conquering wrestler returning and getting back on top. It feels like more of we're gonna force this, even though not gonna say time has passed, but the story isn't there for him. Case in point, Gunther. If Sammy was going to win this gauntlet, I think they should have died down the Chad Gable push. Just because people really love Chad Gable. And you hyped it up to the point where everybody was so invested in Chad Gable more than Sammy. So if you're going to let Sammy win, I would have died it down a little bit. I would have died. Like don't do too many promos. Sammy didn't even get a promo for this gauntlet, which is very weird. And so for me, I was 50-50 last week on who I thought should win. I didn't really care because I thought Sammy and Chad were two viable candidates. But this week, it's like this was a misstep. Because I do love Chad Gable. I love Chad Gable. I think his story with Gunther is more interesting than Sammy's. And yeah,
I mean, there's a little bit there, done that, right? I mean, they've had what 3 matches already or 2 matches already. I mean, I don't know, like
one for the title.
Whether you got him a fair shot or not, one for the title. Whether it was a fair, shot or not at the title, whether it was a viable feud or not, or whatever, or a filler feud for Gunther, I guess it's debatable. But I mean, I don't see Chad Gable as a filler wrestler in any way, shape, or form. I would love to see Chad Gable. I mean, I'm happy with Sami Zayn. I do think you see, even though I do think Sammy's taking a little bit of a step back, and I do think you normally see him hovering more, a little below the main event tier. I do think he gets a lot of face time on TV, which is always good. I mean, I love Sami Zayn, but Chad Gable could get more face time on TV, and I'm here for that. I like Chad Gable. I think he's really good. I think Gunther should probably be the one to beat Roman at this point. I don't know how and where we get to that or how that works out, but that's my feeling. And in order to do that, he's going to have 2 belts or he's got to lose the Intercontinental Championship. I wouldn't be opposed to Gunther 2 belts. I mean, that wouldn't bother me per se. I mean, hold that Intercontinental hostage, that belt hostage, and go take Seth or Roman's belt, and let's you're going to build him as this monster and unbeatable. Let's do it. I mean, even though he doesn't look that way in the ring, because I do think his matches aren't like, they're not Goldberg. They're not, he's not squashing people. He's not, not Wardlow. I mean, he actually, his opponents actually, get offense and that kind of stuff. And he knows how to wrestle, but they still build him as a, kind of an unbeatable champion, right? So go get a second belt. I mean, I don't know. I think he's the guy to beat Roman. I don't know how they do that or how they get there from here, but that's my feeling.
It's nice looking back at the Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn feud. Like when you started off a few years back, Sami Zayn keeps on getting set up in matches against Drew, and like whenever Drew's come down to the ring, Sami Zayn just takes off. It's like, I don't want to wrestle him. No, can't make me. Find me. Shoot, I'll take it.
I was gonna say, are we all in agreement that we think Drew gets the win at WrestleMania over Seth?
If he doesn't win, if he doesn't beat Seth, what the freak are we doing? What the frick are we doing? The only thing I can see of him not beating Seth is that he didn't sign that contract and he signed with another company. That's the only reason why I think he will lose.
So what's the real quick? Just sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want to know what. So if they don't, if Drew doesn't win, then what are we doing? And I get that. I completely agree. Then they're missing the bus. But you don't feel the same way about Cody. Why?
Well, because this Cody, sorry, this story fits Drew. I don't feel like Drew's inserted with him himself. I feel like him turning heel has been a slow burn that actually hit at the right spot. That's just me.
All the cards have a line for it, yeah.
All the cards have a line. If you go back to Cody this past 6 months, what has he done that says, okay, we're leading up to him beating Roman?
Like, it feels like for the Cody story, it's like you play the card and it's like, oh, my bad. Take that back. I wanted to do this one.
Yeah, exactly. He's a spare card. He's not even a big joker. He's an 8. He's an 8. Whereas this, yes, it feels as though ever since ever since before Survivor Series, Drew has this has been cooking, and now it's time to eat. Unlike Cody, it's like Cody. There you go. Cody's like ice cream. Yeah, you want it, but do you really want it during the winter? No, it's a bad time.
What's Kevin Owens doing at WrestleMania?
I don't know.
So they haven't announced it yet. So as of right now, we're getting Gunther versus Sammy 101, which I think is classic Gunther match. That should definitely happen. I am here for a multi-man match for the U.S. Championship.
Well, I was going to say, don't we have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania?
We not sure, and the past 2 years they've done it on WrestleMania SmackDown, not the actual WrestleMania. But yeah, we don't have an opponent for Logan Paul. So
everyone's assuming it's going to be Randy.
I don't want Logan Paul to be one-on-one with Randy. That's just me. Because again, Randy just got here. He just got here.
What do you mean he just got here?
Okay, he just came back. Back. And yeah, Survivor Series deal with the bloodline.
That's half a year.
Elimination Chamber. He was going to see who's gonna main event against Seth. And those last 10 minutes of the chamber when he got knocked out by Logan is like, okay, now we're gonna start up. Like, no, like I am all for people who have paid their dues and actually did a story the past couple of months instead of I just got here. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Randy can't be in the main match. I believe it should be a ladder match for the U.S. Championship, and the opponent should be Logan Paul, KO. If you want to have Logan have friends, either Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, one or the other or both, and then put in LA Knight and AJ Styles, and have a ladder match for the U.S. Championship.
Yeah,
I can't read minds. What you
no, I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to that.
I'm just thinking back several WrestleManias ago where we had Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton, and Randy Orton did that great RKO onto Seth Rollins, and I feel like Logan wants a moment like that.
He can have it. Everyone can be yelling out outside the ring. It can be just them two in the ring for 5 minutes. If you want that to be the final 5 minutes of who should win, I'm not saying who should win the belt, but I do think Logan would do better in a multi-man match for his title instead of one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't argue with that per se.
I will say Logan hasn't wrestled much since he's won the title.
That's
but
true.
Every time he's wrestled has been really good.
It has.
He's on that Roman schedule.
Like his matches with Kevin Owens, real damn good. His match with Rey Mysterio, real damn good. The Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Was he in the Rumble?
He was not this year. He was last year, not this year.
Yeah. But he had the match with KO, and
And on a personal tip, haha, I have not let go of LA Knight versus Logan, and even yet, and so it's like that makes me feel sad that no, I thought we were going to do that at WrestleMania,
Yeah,
not Randy versus Logan Paul.
I really thought that's what the plan was too, but I mean, LA Knight versus AJ Styles is big enough to be a Mania match.
Depending on who you ask, I love both. I would do it, but okay. So comparatively, right? I don't see them giving them enough time. I see them getting 5 minutes, maybe cutting that match if someone goes long. Unlike if you put them in a multi-man match, it's gonna definitely go over 10 minutes, and at least they'll have time to shine.
I mean, yeah.
I'm with you. I love both of them. I think they'll do a great job together. But but organizing WrestleMania and knowing who is on the card, their match is not solidified to staying there and getting time.
I'm going to be a bit upset if Bobby and the Street Profits don't win their multi-man match.
I was going to say, we'll see how we get there, but I'm going to be upset if Kevin Owens doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. That's going to be...
I mean, at least give him the consolation prize of winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
Something. I mean, he should be. He's good enough, and he should be doing something. I mean,
yes.
It's a shame if he's not doing something at WrestleMania. So speaking of WrestleMania, they've announced several of the 2024 Hall of Fame inductees. What do y'all think about the class so far? I think there's going to be more, right? We got Paul Heyman, we got Bull Nakano, the U.S. Express, Barry Windham, and Mike Rotundo, and the most recently announced Mr. Muhammad Ali. What do y'all think about the four of those people? Or the five? I guess it's five so far, technically, because Wyndham and Rotunda.
Great choices.
What do y'all think? Yeah,
like a lot of previous years has been like, why in the hell are you including them? Like them already? Like they're what? Like 35? Like why are you putting 35-year-olds in here when we got 55-year-olds who are about to kick the bucket before you put them in?
Right. And yeah. No, I mean. I'm happy Muhammad Ali's in there. It feels a little. I mean, he's been gone for a while now, so I mean, it could have been done before he passed away, right? I mean, that would have been ideal, but at the same time, I guess it is what it is. I mean, better late than never.
Who's gonna induct him? Inoki's dead.
Yeah.
Probably his little. Well, I would love to see Layla again. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'd like Mike Tyson, but I don't think they'll call in Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's
although that would be pretty cool if they did a whole thing with Mike Tyson and the Pauls to set up the
I was going to say we'll have to talk about that before we go off. We'll have to talk about that before we get off of here real quick. But you were going to say about the Hall of Fame, Anika. What were you going to say?
Oh, first thing first. I know Muhammad Ali was in one of the first 3 WrestleManias. Who was he going against?
That's a really good question. Hold on for just one sec. I should know this because I remember that I was alive when it happened, and I remember it being. But at the first ever WrestleMania, he was a special referee between Hogan and Mr. T. Hogan and Mr. T. I'm sorry, Hogan and Mr. T defeated Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper, and he was the special guest referee. It was Ali getting physical on more than one occasion.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
The very first WrestleMania ever. So, which is, a big deal. I mean, right? That's a big deal. And the main event. So, I mean, Piper, Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and why can't I'm drawing blank on his name now. Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful. So, yeah, I mean, that was the main event. So.
Then on the flip side, him versus Inoki in New Japan Wrestling, I would love. It's a new era. I would love for him to mention that for him as well.
Acknowledge Inoki. WWE. Acknowledge Inoki's reign.
What I was going to say was, it's crazy because they said that they wanted to induct Paul Heyman earlier, but he was like, I'm still working. I can't. But like this Hall of Fame is for people who are retired. And hopefully he's not retired, but it's like, that's going to be great. We're in Philadelphia, where ECW lives and breathes. Yeah. So that's going to be a great little. I hope they do that well. You know what I'm saying?
Like-
Yeah.
Get an old school ECW person and get it real cracking up in there.
Like
We don't know who's
I would
gonna
relate it
induct
to
any of
Paul
these
about
people
that.
yet, right?
Like we understand you're still working. We've had legends be on TV even after they've become, Hall of Famers. Like it's fine. You've put so many years into the business. This is Philadelphia. If you're not going in at Philadelphia, where the hell you want to go in at?
Right. But yeah, get someone old school from ECW.
I was gonna say, do we know? I mean, we don't know who's gonna induct any of these people yet, right? Who's inducting anybody
Not
yet?
yet, but yeah, get it like EC. Yeah. Oh,
It'll be interesting to see who they do. Who they get? Joey Styles.
I'd like the whole effing show
right.
to be inducted. But no, they can't do that. He's currently working in AEW. Never mind.
Yeah, they're still paying.
So I was honestly surprised when they announced the U.S. Express. I thought Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda were already in the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't know why they haven't been in the Hall of Fame already. Like, the fact that it's already, they've been retired for a long time, both of them, and the fact that they haven't been in the Hall of Fame already.
When we did top 10 tag teams, they were in my top 10, were they not? They were like number 8.
I believe so. I mean, I don't remember.
Tag teams all time.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they weren't in there already. So yeah, more power to them for finally getting into the Hall of Fame. I mean, they were pretty emotional. They had that little vignette when they were talking about it, and it was nice. I mean, it's
so adorable.
It's nice to see, that it means something to these guys, even though they really need a brick and mortar, right? I mean, I think the WWE Hall of Fame would mean a lot more if they had an actual brick and mortar where you could go and check it out and actually see it, right? Like, right now it's just kind of in the ether. I mean, which is great.
Right.
I mean,
You think Mike's son's gonna induct them?
I don't know. I mean, you could see they were super emotional about Bray, right? I mean, you could just tell they were emotional, and it's weird that Bray's gone. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, there's a lot of people potentially that could induct him, and I'm always surprised. It never ceases to amaze me who people pick to have them induct them. It's always odd to me who people pick.
But Bo Dallas is Mike's son and is Wyndham's nephew.
Yep, Wyndham's nephew, sure.
Like, it makes logical sense for me. Have Bo Dallas.
I mean, it does. I mean, they're family and whatever. But I mean, there's also a lot of people that they have a long wrestling history with, and it seems like a lot of guys like to go with ex-rivals or ex-partners or guys that they wrestled a lot with or managers or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Bo Dallas is compared to them, he's the younger generation, right? So like
youngest NXT champion.
Yeah, no, I'm saying as far as like he's the younger generation to them. So like, there's probably guys I imagine in their minds that would have more of an impact, but maybe not. I mean, I could be totally wrong, and I don't have any idea who I'm thinking about. I don't have any names at the top of my head coming off the top of my head. I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, I don't know.
For the Steiner brothers, they had Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
but that's their son. Yeah.
Same with Bo Dallas.
Yeah, it's Mike Rotundo's son. So I mean,
and Wyndham's nephew.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I assume that maybe the conversation would be if Bray was still alive, if Bray would be the one doing it. I mean, that's.
But Bray's not, so I would logically go to
I'm just
Bo.
asking. I'm just asking.
Oh,
I mean, I guess,
probably. I would.
If
probably
that's,
be
I mean,
Bray.
if that's what was going to happen, then I guess logically, it should go to Bo next. I mean, I don't know. There's other people out there definitely that I think could induct them, but yeah, I was just surprised that they weren't already, just because of how great they were, and how long they've been out of wrestling, both of them. So, anybody else? I don't know if are they announcing more people, or is that it? Do we know?
I would assume Bray Wyatt's going in this year. Like,
they haven't announced him. That's true.
I'm assuming that will be probably the last and final person they announce. They don't usually have a lot of people, right? And that's a good thing. We'll keep it short and sweet. So I think Bray will probably be the last one they announce, but I think this is basically the card, the Hall of Fame card of this year.
Yeah.
Do you think they would bring Eric Rowan in to do Bray's?
I think Bo. It really depends on. Yeah, I think that was probably a conversation for Bo Dallas and Joe, his wife, to see. Right. With these, it's very intimate moment.
I don't know if JoJo could.
So I have an interesting
I think she'd
question
get really
to ask.
emotional doing it.
I got an interesting question to ask. Let's say that instead of passing away, he just retired, right? He had been gone for a while. Let's just say he didn't come back ever. He just decided I'm done with wrestling, right? And walked away instead of passing away.
Mhm.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Hell yeah.
Either way.
Hell yeah.
I think it would take more years.
So, but
Yeah,
I'm saying if he doesn't, you think longer, it would be longer down the road before he gets into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
But he's definitely in the Hall of Fame. We have
So-
seen people in there for less. No offense.
And being that he passed away, you think they speed it up? You think he moves up the
They
ladder?
did for Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero, yeah. People who we thought were going to retire because of like surgeries, like what do you call it, Edge.
Mhm.
Those guys, yeah. But he was definitely, if he did not pass, still Hall of Fame bound, no doubt.
But it would probably be a decade from now before they actually did it.
Yeah.
All right. So what else, Sammy? You were the one that said we should switch it up, talk about WWE. What else you got to talk about? Anything else?
Last question. Who do y'all think is winning Money in the Bank?
It's so far ahead.
We don't even know who the contestants are yet, right?
Well, I'm split between two: LA Knight and Sami Zayn, depending on how their stories go leading up to Money in the Bank this summer.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make any kind of judgment call on that until I see who the actual participants are and how they get there, because there's going to be so much storyline built up to how people get in, and there'll be qualifying matches and see who wins and why they win and so on and how. And I can't. I just right now I don't know. I mean, in my head, it seems to me LA Knight would be a good candidate just because he's been hot. But here's the thing, right? Like, I'm going to say this again. The longer they have people hold the fucking briefcase, the colder it gets. I believe that. And Damien has held it way too long. He was very warm when he won and got it. Everyone was hyped. And I understand he's doing the Judgment Day thing and he's tag team champion with Finn. I get that. He should have cashed that fucking thing in a long time ago. If they do the same thing next time, then I don't want it to be LA Knight because I want him to continue to be hot.
The longest anybody's held it is the day after Mania, right?
I don't know. That I couldn't. I have
Raw
no idea.
after Mania. That's the longest someone has waited to cash in.
Dolph did it. Carmella did it. Those two are the top two that did it after Mania, the Monday after Mania.
Okay.
For me, right, going back to Priest, I know y'all trying to build up this title, the new title, but if y'all would just let Finn win that thing and then have Priest cash in and beat it off of Finn, that would have been a better storyline, man. It would have been so great, but I digress.
The way I see it going down now is Drew McIntyre loses against Seth. And then Damian Priest comes out and cashes in.
I would have rather have Drew beat Seth and Damien cashed in on Drew.
You want to fuck Drew twice? You want to give him his title run in front of no fans, and then have him give up the title the same night? Like, you want it?
Because he's blaming everybody for his mistakes and why he isn't on top and he's not the champion. Like, who are you gonna blame now? He got cashed in.
But WWE likes Drew. They're not going to do that to him. That'd be fucked up.
So,
but it's gonna.
Spoiler for Monday.
Here's the thing. If you really think that this is when Damien's cashing in, then it's fucked either way, because if Seth beats Drew and then Damien cashes in on Seth, it still shits on Drew either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's unavoidable at that point.
Now, I don't think it should be on Mania. I don't think so.
Well, I don't think
Damien needs to keep on holding. After Mania or after?
I don't think Damien needs to be holding that briefcase any longer.
I agree. He should have cashed it in months ago.
I
think if you don't fucking cash it in within 60 days, you should either lose it or people should have the opportunity to challenge you for the motherfucker. Because you ain't doing shit.
I used to like when they would do that back in the day, where it's like people challenging for the briefcase. Like, that's the thing that used to happen.
But I
guess you gotta at least keep it warm and relevant, right? It's doing nothing in Damien's hands. It's just sitting there.
But spoiler for Monday, Seth said, I got things I'm worried about. I'm worried about Roman. I'm worried about Rock. I'm worried about my knee. I'm worried about my back. At the bottom of that list, Drew, is you.
Yeah.
And
So-
for him to say that and be like, well, you should have been worried about Damien too.
Right.
Because it feels like Seth is forgetting about Damien.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? I mean, if you think he's doing it at WrestleMania, there's only two belts. It's either so he's cashing in again, either on the Seth and whatchamacallit match, Seth and Cody match, or Cody and Roman, or Seth and Drew, right? So is he going to cash in against Cody and Roman on
No.
night 2? If
If
Cody
he-
wins, does he cash in against Cody?
if they're gonna
wins,
cash in,
if Roman wins by some rare off chance, but he's unconscious at the same time in the middle of the ring, does he cash in against Roman?
nah, if he cashes in at WrestleMania, it's gonna be against Seth or Drew.
Mm-hmm.
It's that no.
I just find it so funny if Cody did win. Held the title.
Well, there you go, right? He can. I mean, hey, you won the belt. You didn't get to hold it very long.
You did it.
But
you did it. You finished
what
your
your daddy
story.
didn't
Your
do.
story's done.
Your
story's
story's
done,
over. You did what your daddy didn't do. You won the belt.
What did they didn't do?
Oh man, that'd be funny. All right, Sammy. What else? We got about 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna call it.
We can talk about the women.
Women just in general, or what? Or which women? What women?
So let's talk about the Liv. Sorry,
Go
Rhea
ahead, take it
versus
over.
Becky, and people wanting Liv to be in there because
They
they're
do.
delusional. No offense.
Who
Y'all are
actually really
delusional.
wants Liv in there? These internet trolls
Y'all
are just
are
assholes.
delusional.
Nobody really wants Liv in there.
And that's what I'm saying about the whole. Yeah, you can hear our comments, but at some point in time, WWE or AEW or whoever is running a wrestling company, at some point in time, you have to make sure what's the best decision for everybody. Because no offense, I don't care how loud they are. I don't care how they think. Well, I don't because they're about, oh, Becky's too over. No, she's not. She's over because she's Becky freaking Lynch. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have
But she's Becky
no
freaking Lynch.
belief that Becky's going to win at Mania. I give her maybe 5% chance.
I don't think Becky's winning at Mania. I do think Becky is over.
Yes.
Over. I mean, I think she's not overrated, but I think she's over pushed and overhyped. I mean, I like Becky Lynch. I think she's a solid wrestler, but she gets a lot of opportunities that a lot of people don't get. And
she's not overrated. She's overhyped.
She's
always
she always gets a shot at something. You know what I mean? When others don't. And I don't know. I honestly, because it's Becky Lynch, I never rule out that she can win. If she beats Rhea, I'm going to be very upset.
Yes,
because
me
I
too.
think this should be a statement victory for Rhea in this reign. But I don't put anything past WWE and Becky Lynch. I mean, I just don't. They love her to death. I mean, they just
honestly, I'd be down for a squash.
Sure, as Rhea's squashing Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nah. Because, I will say this, right? WrestleMania is WrestleMania. The biggest stars and the most over stars are supposed to come out and play, right? I don't want to squash at WrestleMania, especially when it's two big ones like Rhea and Becky. That's just me.
Big
and if
boot,
Becky's getting squashed by anybody, it's got to be
2,
Bianca
3.
anyhow. I'm just saying that. Let's put that out there, right?
Right?
If she's getting squashed by anybody at WrestleMania, it's got to be Bianca.
Give
That's
her
fucked up if they let Rhea squash Becky after Becky squashed Bianca.
Yes.
Like, that's fucked up.
Yes.
Like that.
Give her lick back. But yeah, everyone can't be on the card. And for them to think that Liv deserves to be in this spot, y'all are delusional. She just got back. And no offense, I still don't understand why she's over. She cries and she whines all the freaking time.
There's so many other women that deserve that not deserve, but would be better in that spot if you're actually going to put a third person in that match than Liv.
They can give her a spot like they did like 2020, I think it was, where they were just like, we got a spot on the card. We're going to throw you and Natalia on. Best of luck.
Best of luck. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do something like that with like her and Naomi. Like if Naomi doesn't have a match, just like
I mean,
okay, we can leave Naomi off of WrestleMania,
I want
whatever.
more. I want more from Naomi, and I
Yeah.
think they're going to have her in the Kabuki Warrior and Bailey thing. So no,
Oh, who's gonna
I
be her
do.
tag partner?
Not even her tag partner, but just having the being out there to have her back and to
Oh,
and to get rid of the help get rid of the distractions of the Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai.
I thought you were saying she's gonna be winning the tag titles off of the Kabuki Warriors.
I mean, if they want to, yes, as well. But I definitely see her in that story. I would love that. Don't know who's going to be her partner, but I would love that.
Would you?
She's definitely over
Would
there.
you make it Bianca?
So as of right now, Bianca and justifiably show she's not feeling saving Bailey because let's be honest, they have control went after her when they first got formed.
But
right?
it's not saving Bailey. It's going after the Kabuki Warriors for their tag titles.
So I do think that she's going to be in this, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get her to soften yes, it is defeating the Kabuki Warriors, but it's still helping Bailey.
Yeah, but doing it with the mindset of I'm not doing this to help you. I'm doing this for me.
No, I think she'll be in this. I think because I don't think we're getting Jade versus Bianca just yet at WrestleMania.
We haven't seen or heard from Jade since the Royal Rumble.
She did her little pop-up. She did her little pop-up. She did her little pop-up moment of SmackDown where she's thinking about signing, and then her and Io had a little face-off. But
I mean, it's been over a month since the Royal Rumble, so I mean, it's what are we doing? I understand. You want the right situation, you want the right story, and you want to. She's got to be prepared, and you don't want to burn her. You don't want to put her out too soon. She's already been out. We've already fucking seen it. Like it's not like you're hiding anything, right? It's not like the first time we've ever seen this person. We've already seen it. We know what it is. Like just fucking give it to us. Like I'm tired of it. It feels manipulative.
I would have her win the women's Money in the Bank.
There you go. That would be perfect. I'm all for that. That.
That way she can come out. She can display the briefcase. She can be, I'm a threat. I can come for your title whenever I want.
Yeah.
Bye and leave.
Yeah. I'm all for that.
I agree with that. I love that. I'm still on the fence. I do believe in let's wait for the perfect situation. I don't want them to rush Bianca and Jade. Even though I do want to at WrestleMania.
So here's my quick question, not to interrupt you, but what's the perfect situation in your mind then? And how much longer is that? I mean, when do we get there?
In my mind. As of right now, okay, yeah, because Jade right now, WrestleMania, it's heavily Bloodline, Cody, Seth, and Drew focused on, right? To the point where Bailey and Io, it's going to be a moment, but it's not going to be probably top 5 moments of that weekend, right? So I will wait for Bianca and Jade, right? Maybe next year. Now, if you want to bring, they haven't. It sucks because we have a month, right? We got to promote stuff. But if you want to do Nia versus Jade at WrestleMania, I'll be all for that because storyline wise, she's the one who threw Nia over the top rope. Now, even though we love both of these people are not great.
But Liv's the one who eliminated Jade.
Yeah, there's a potential chance with Jade and Nia that it could be ugly, right? I mean, there's a potential chance for that. I mean,
neither of them are ring generals, so
exactly.
I think that's the thing too, right?
Yeah.
You need Jade for her first match to be in there with a ring.
She's got to be protected with somebody that's right. She's got to be in there with somebody that's going to
like a Becky Lynch,
that it doesn't look bad.
Yeah. Or even a Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair is a ring general as well. Someone who can know when to do stuff. So
when is Charlotte coming back? How long is Charlotte gone for?
I don't know. She hurt the freaking quad, man. Be taking people out so freaking long, bruh.
Also, Nia is not ready to let the women's title match go.
No,
So,
she's not.
do you think
But I
she's going
do.
to be in the Backlash match?
Here's the thing. Nia's been doing great work. So I know everyone can be on the WrestleMania card. I think Nia has put the work in to be on the WrestleMania card.
I
So that's why
agree.
I'm
I don't know
pitching
how,
her.
but I agree. I agree.
Right.
How would you feel about them having Nia versus Liv? Winner faces the winner of Becky and Rhea at Backlash.
I don't have a problem with that, except that I have a feeling Liv would get that win, and that would piss me off because I don't. Here's the thing, right? Not only am I a Nia Jax fan and not a Liv Morgan fan, but it harkens back to my biggest issue in wrestling when the little person beats the big person and it's not fucking believable. There's no way in real life Liv Morgan is ever beating Nia Jax ever. I don't fucking care. I don't care. It's not happening. So I have a hard enough time suspending my, willing suspension of disbelief a lot of times, and this makes it really hard. So no, that doesn't. If Nia wins, then that I'm fine with,
Even if
and
it's a hardcore match?
that should be a squash in my
But it
opinion.
shouldn't
Nia
be a
should
hardcore
squash
match.
Liv.
Even if it's a hardcore match, you don't think it'd be believable for Liv?
Potentially, I suppose, in a hardcore match, but then you got to realize that Nia can use the weapons too, right? So I mean, any damage that Liv can inflict, Nia should be inflicting tenfold with the weapons, right? I mean, one blow from Nia with the garbage can, Liv should be unconscious for days, right? Like,
Yeah. So
so
if we're gonna spin the block on Backlash, I would love for them to do a 4-way, hype into like when it was 2008, Edge, Randy versus uh Shawn and Cena, fatal 4-way for the title. I would love for them to do it for women. Let it be Becky, Rhea, Nia, and Liv. That'd be a cool little
Yeah.
spin the block.
yeah,
I'm down for a fatal 4-way at Backlash.
Yeah.
And
I don't have a
especially
problem
since
with
they've
that.
been keeping them all in the same storyline, continuing
Right.
forward. Like,
Easy match. Easy match. Don't have to work for it. The story's already there.
and
Yep.
it gives Becky her chance at redemption after losing at Mania.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been at this for 2 hours, and I know it's already
Well,
12:30 on Anika's side. Go ahead,
one more
Timmy.
point.
One more point.
Where does Julia come in?
I don't think Julia's going to WWE. I think she's going. I don't know. I don't know. I heard that she was going to help her friend with her promotion. I'm not sure if that's a deal that they made with WWE. But
Yeah, and I heard that's just for a couple months. Like after Backlash, I believe Julia would be able to come in.
I think that would be a perfect spot for her because.
But
Don't
where?
want her. Don't want her.
Raw or SmackDown?
Okay, definitely SmackDown because SmackDown needs it. Don't want her with I don't want her with Damage Control. Don't do that. Let her be.
You
by
want
herself.
Julia Bailey? I'm down for that match. That match sounds really good to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure where I think she comes in or ultimately ends up. I mean, she could freelance for a little while, help her friend, do some other stuff before she makes an ultimate decision and comes to WWE. My guess is, I'm going to say this, shout it to the mountaintops because I truly believe this. Even though AEW is done a really good job of being, for all intents and purposes, a viable competitor to the WWE product, and TNA is doing good at the moment. WWE is still WWE, and I think a lot of these guys still think WWE is the pinnacle of where you want to be if you're a professional wrestler. And I have no doubt that ultimately they all want to go to WWE at some point and have those big, those big moments, in theory, a WrestleMania moment if you're lucky enough, right? So I assume at some point in her career, she's still young enough, she'll be in WWE and she'll have probably a couple of those moments. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow or next year or this year or whatever, but at some point she will be in WWE, I'm sure.
But to put a timeline on it, if she's free, I would let her do it this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's all up to what she ultimately, I guess, would want to do. I mean,
yeah.
I sent you a message in the private chat.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
All right. So unless anyone else has anything to say, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up because we've been talking a lot, and I know it's late, especially it's late over here, let alone over there. So
Yeah.
I
Let's kick
guess
it.
we should at least put up our schedule and tell everybody. I think we're mostly all back, so hopefully we're back to a normal schedule. Every Monday we've got Seeing Stars, which is Dolores and J News, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. They talk about New Japan, pro wrestling, some Stardom, and all other indie shows or indie shows that they want to talk about. Wrestling Revolver and Cosentino Brothers Wrestling, GCW. She always covers GCW, Dolores. So it's a great show. Always check that out. On Tuesday nights, you're here with us right now. This is the Cookout, where we talk about everything that's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. It starts at 10:30 Pacific or 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. We are live, and that's every Tuesday. On Wednesdays, it's all for not myself and Sammy Joe talking about Monday Night Raw and NXT from the 2 days before. We are back tomorrow night with our first episode in a little while, so join us for that. We are live. That is 10:15 Eastern, 7:15 Pacific. That's PM. Then Thursday, it's Aftermath of Dynamite, where myself and the Anarchy Queen, Miss Anika, talk about all things AEW from the week before, Rampage, Collision, and Dynamite from the night before. We weren't here last week. We apologize. We probably won't touch we won't go over in depth last week, but we can touch on the big stuff that happened last week because there were a couple big things.
Yeah.
And so join us for that tomorrow night. That's 10:15 Pacific or Eastern, 7:15 Pacific. Friday night fights. I believe Sammy should be back this Friday night, so I think it'll be Sammy and
Uh,
Anika.
maybe I might be out to dinner with my sister.
All right. Well, we'll see. You might get Sammy Joe back. Otherwise, I'll be here again, doing my bit to try to fill in as best I can. But Friday night fights, we'll be watching SmackDown and Rampage. Maybe we'll get CM to come in for Rampage, like she did last Friday. I don't think there's another pay per view this week, so I do think it is just
Thank
going to
God.
be SmackDown and Rampage. That starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Then Saturday, Under the Radar, it is myself and CM talking about Impact, Ring of Honor, MLW, and I think what's still being the Dark Order, what was being the Elite before, whatever that is now taking place. CM will catch us all up on that. I know it's been a while since we've had a Under the Radar episode, but we should have one this week, so make sure to check that out. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then we're back Saturday night for Saturday Night is All Right, where we watch Collision live and give you our live response and so on, reactions to the show. So that starts at 5 p.m. with Collision. That's Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is live Saturday. And then Sunday, it's been a while again, I think since even maybe before the beginning of the year, since we've had an Enter the Square Circle episode, but that should be back hopefully next week. But that's usually on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. I know that was a terrible job giving the schedule, but
That was
there it
fun.
is. There it is. Uh, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video. We appreciate all of you. And yeah, if anyone else has anything else to say before we get out of here, we'll get out of here.
Bye.
Peace.